Do you feel a sense of pride knowing that these bikes could help British cycling bring home gold medals from the Olympics?
Definitely, it's an exciting project to be involved on, and hopefully at the end of the day it'll all be a success.
Not since Chris Boardman won a gold medal on the iconic Lotus 108 way back in 1992 have I seen a more radical bike than this. I mean, just look at it, it looks awesome. Where to start? Well, it's called the HBT, and it's a bike that British cycling hope will bring them gold medal success at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. It's been manufactured by Hope Technology, which is where I am today in the north of England. And in this video, we'll take a closer look at the bike and why it looks like it does. We're also going to take a look at the bike and how it's made in the factory behind me. And you can see that video by hitting the subscribe button down below so you don't miss that when it comes up in a couple of days' time. But for now, let's take a closer look at this new track bike. It is a result of a collaboration between Hope Technology, Lotus Engineering and Renishaw, three British companies combining to provide the best possible equipment for the British track team to race at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. You all know the Lotus name, of course, not only from the iconic Lotus 108 track bike that Chris Boardman used so successfully in 1992, but also a car company famous for making lightweight and aerodynamic sports cars, with experience in the high performance world of F1. Lotus has been instrumental in creating the unique fork and handlebar as well as wind tunnel testing. Hope Technology will be a familiar name to mountain bikers. It started out some 30 years ago making disc brakes and hubs, and has made CNC machined aluminium its area of expertise with a wide range of products now available. But a few years ago that all changed when Hope decided to invest in carbon fibre manufacturing. First with a seat post, then a handbar, and then more boldly 2 mountain bike frames.
I'm Sam, and I'm a design engineer here at Hope Technology.
Why does the bike look the way it does?
So the whole idea about this bike is actually, instead of designing effectively an aerodynamic bike, the idea was we could take a rider and have the rider and the bike as a unit, because you can design a very aerodynamic bike, but the rider is the main problem. Once he's on that bike, that's the main issue for aerodynamics. So if you actually kind of take it back a bit and design the bike with a rider as a whole unit, you can come to some different conclusions regarding the best way to design the tube profiles and the best way to locate the tubes around the bike. So the whole idea is that if we have a rider on that bike, you can place the forks and the seat stays effectively in line with the rider's legs to help channel the air better around something that has to be there inevitably anyway.
So the fork blades are the same width as the rider's legs?
Yeah, if you take a frontal view of a rider on that bike, you can see that the forks and the seat stays are in line with the rider's legs as they're pedalling, so it helps channel the air effectively around the rider's legs.
This bike is so extreme, it can't possibly be legal, can it? Well, the UCI has a thick rulebook setting out what you can and can't do with bike design, and all bikes used in professional racing must be approved by the organisation with the resulting UCI sticker we can see on the frame here. There's a long history of bike designers and the UCI come to blows over bike designs, with many innovations and bikes during the 90s being banned or new rules introduced to prevent them from being used. The iconic Lotus 108 was eventually outlawed when the UCI updated its rulebook in 1996. So the bike looks like it breaks all the rules, but it's got a UCI sticker on it, so the UCI are clearly happy with the bike?
Yeah, so it conforms to all the regulations set out by the UCI, and the change from a ratio of the tube profile, with example the forks and the seat stays, the change to actually minimum dimensions and maximum dimensions has helped allow the design of the profiles of the seats and the fork. And then obviously the width of them is the main difference, but it all fits in the overall regulations that are specified by the UCI. And we have been in contact obviously with the UCI through the design of this bike and making sure that we weren't going to fall over any hurdles.
So the UCI are happy with it? Did they push back against any designs?
No, so we actually got approval with our first submission, so we'd obviously done a lot of work regarding the regulations and made sure they were followed to have the best chance of approval. But yeah, on the first submission it got approved. So
it's one thing to design a bike on computer, but quite another to actually manufacture it. That is where Hope's 30 years of manufacturing expertise has given it a real advantage into turning this wild design into a reality. When it came to manufacturing the bike, were there any big challenges or hurdles you had to overcome?
For us, there was always going to be challenges because it's something we'd not done before. We'd only ever manufactured carbon mountain bike frames as well as some of our other carbon products, but the fact it's a track bike and it's using different types of carbon compared to what we're currently using, and the fact that we had to mould the chainstays into the frame as one piece, it revealed itself as a different challenge to what we were currently facing. But we, because we have the capability to manufacture our own moulds, we actually, before the design was fully confirmed, we manufactured our own test mould and kind of developed our own manufacturing method before we actually went into production to make sure that we had the capabilities to actually produce this bike. But yeah, there's been challenges along the way, but I think having the capabilities we do here and having the facility that we have to work in, it enables us to be flexible and overcome the challenges quite readily.
Because you make your own moulds as well, so it must give you a huge advantage in terms of being in control of the whole process. Yeah,
definitely. The mould it's a very complex piece to actually produce that frame, so the fact that we can machine them ourselves and we know regarding the design what certain things can be done and what certain things can't be done, and different ways where you can get around problems such as sharp corners, for example. But having that capability and having the experience that we have here of mould manufacture, it's allowed us to firstly make more moulds, more different sizes to give a lot more flexibility with frames. But yeah, it's also the experience has come through to allow us to make this frame effectively.
And how long roughly does it take to make each track bike?
Well, the mould alone, there's about a week or two worth of machining, actually converting the aluminium billet that we order in to actually getting the mould created, and then laying the frame up as well. There's probably about 20 man hours that go into actually laying the carbon fibre pieces into the mould, followed by a cycle of curing, and then that's just to get the carbon frame out the mould. Then there's the finishing that goes into it, all the bonding that goes into it for like the seat post sleeves and the bottom brackets. So there's a lot of work that actually goes into it and a lot of man hours total up at the end to actually produce one of these bikes. So it's a long careful process that we have to go through.
The bike has already been pressed into action at UCI Track Cycling World Cup events, as any bike set to be ridden in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics has to be raced before the end of 2019 to qualify. Another UCI rule also requires that the bike is available to buy, provided you have deep pockets for the £15,000 it's likely to cost when it goes on sale in early January. So are you producing bikes for British cycling for Tokyo 2020 now? And following from that, when can the public get their hands on this new bike?
So we're currently in production for the frames for the Tokyo Olympics, but the general public can also place orders, I believe, from January the 1st, which they'll be produced on a made-to-order basis. So anybody who's interested can get in touch directly with Hope, and orders can be placed and ready for manufacture.
And could this lead to a future line of Hope branded road bikes?
Yeah, I think taking on this project, especially with a lot of, and the majority of people here being involved in riding and cycling, having having the passion to actually produce something like this, it's a logical progression for us to make, and there have already been talks about different parts we could make, effectively using this as a springboard to help us develop more products in that market.
So we talked a lot about the frame and how it's made, but you've also got your name on the wheels, and I believe the wheels are a key part of what you're offering British Cycling for Tokyo. So, I mean, what's involved with the wheels? And
so we've actually developed our own new manufacturing process to manufacture the wheels, and what we've tried to do is, with a lot of our products here, we try and, especially our carbon ones, as soon as they come out the mould, we want them to be as finished as possible.
okay.
So it obviously reduces post-processing, and it obviously reduces more inherent errors that you can actually gain from the more processes you apply to a product. So we've developed a process where we can make the disc wheel in one monocoque continuous part. So normally you'd have to effectively make it in separate pieces, and these are bonded together. So the advantage of this is you've got a more structurally sound part, because it's a continuous piece and you're not having to rely on any adhesives. And you can also reduce the weight that is put in from the adhesive, which, when you're talking about very light parts anyway, it can actually be a significant addition to the weight of the overall part.
Are they rounder than normal wheels?
I can't answer that.
So that has been a fascinating insight into how this awesome looking bike is made, and hopefully answers the question why it looks the way it does. Now, if you've got any questions of your own, do put them in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this bike, and let us know your predictions for this bike and British cycling at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Also, while you're down there, make sure you smash that like button and hit that subscribe button as well, so you don't miss any future videos from us, including how the bike is made and a tour of the Hope factory behind me there. But that's all for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again next time.